Good evening, welcome to the news. My name is Dingindawa Jonah Buyoya. The Energy Regulation Board (ARB) has increased fuel pump prices with effect from midnight tonight. Vice President Nongawina has apologized to Company Radio Director Lesa Nyirenda for the brutality she suffered at the hands of the police. Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari's wife has warned him that she may not back him at the next election unless he shakes up his government. Here are the details. The Energy Regulation Board (ERB) has increased fuel pump prices per litre of petrol and diesel by 3/4 ngwe and 2/4 ngwe respectively. The ERB has also increased the pump price for kerosene per litre by 1/91 ngwe and that of low sulfur diesel by 2/81 ngwe. ERB Vice Chairperson Francis Yambas told a media briefing held in Lusaka this afternoon that with these adjustments, which will come into effect at midnight tonight, the pump price per litre of petrol will now be 13/70 ngwe and 11/40 ngwe for diesel. Professor Yambas states that the new pump price for kerosene per litre is 8/3 ngwe, while that of low sulfur diesel is 13/69 ngwe. He has told journalists that the adjustments that have been made on fuel pump prices are in line with government's directive to migrate to cost-reflective pricing of the energy services and products. Professor Yamba adds that this is also in line with the government policy decision of 2014 to remove subsidies on fuel. He further states that in adjusting the announced fuel pump prices, the ERB did, however, keep in mind that the kwacha now seems to have stabilized. Vice President Nongawina has apologized to Company Radio Director Lesa Nyirenda, who was last week brutally beaten and undressed by police officers who were guarding the radio station following its closure by the Independent Broadcasting Authority (IBA). Last week in Parliament, Ms. Wina justified the police action, saying Mrs. Nyirenda assaulted the police officers, stating that individuals who want to break the law with impunity will be arrested or punished for the crimes they commit. But during the Vice President's question time in Parliament this morning, Ms. Wina said she was not well informed about the incident at Company Radio when she responded to the question. She says after collecting more information on the incident, she established that the actions of police officers went beyond their work. Ms. Wina says what Mrs. Nyirenda went through at the hands of the police officers was not necessary.
I do recollect that last week there was a question on the Company Radio Director, and where I responded to the question in a certain manner. I was not well informed, but when I collected more information on the incident, I found that indeed the police overdid their work. I do apologize for what she went through, and it was not necessary.
In her honor, the Vice President says President Edgar Lungu does not order police to beat up fellow politicians. She says whenever police use excessive force, President Edgar Lungu is never involved. Ms. Wina states that at times the President has castigated the Inspector General of Police for the overzealousness of some of his officers who go beyond the limit of their work. Meanwhile, the Vice President says the National Day of Prayer and Fasting provides an opportunity for political leaders to come together and dialogue over the misunderstanding that divide them and divide the country. Ms. Wina says the country has not gone to war because of elections.
As for the issue of the 18th of October, this gives us an opportunity as leaders to come together. This gives us an opportunity as leaders to dialogue over these misunderstandings that seem to divide us and divide the country as well. So let's use the day to unite. Let's use the day to thank God for what we have enjoyed so far. This country is not going to war because of elections. This country is going to receive good rain. This country has had a good harvest. And you heard from the Minister of Agriculture that throughout SADC there has been a shortage of almost 9 million metric tons of maize, and 40 million people are at risk
Transparency International Zambia TIZ is demanding the immediate arrest and dismissal of all government officials cited in all forms of irregularities in the 2015 audit report. TIZ Executive Director Goodwill Lungu notes that much as there have been slight improvements in some areas, there are still high levels of unaccounted for and financial mismanagement of public funds, which the report has clearly outlined, coming from some parastatal companies and other statutory bodies. Mr. Lungu says it is worrying that the country has continued to lose huge sums of money at the expense of disgruntled and incompetent public officers who have continued not to account for public resources at the expense of many Zambians. He wonders how undelivered materials jumped from 522,905 in 2014 to 251,523,804 kwacha in 2016. Mr. Lungu says this simply means that government in 2015 paid 251 million kwacha for materials which were not delivered at all and no action is taken. He states that as far as the TIZ is concerned, this is a simple matter that does not need wasting more time on long investigations. Mr. Lungu says TIZ is therefore calling on law enforcement agencies to quickly identify all the culprits. He says TIZ further calls on on all controlling officers to identify perpetrators who misuse public funds to be dismissed or suspended as a deterrent measure. Agriculture Minister Dora Silia says the ban on the export of maize grain will remain in force until further notice. Ms. Silia says this is for as long as government remains unsatisfied that the country is food secure. She has told Parliament in a ministerial statement this morning that government thus urges total commitment to the attainment of food and nutrition security at both household and national level. Ms. Silia notes that all efforts have, however, been made not to frustrate the export of permitted agricultural products. She has referred to maize and seed maize bran as products that have been allowed to be exported. And Ms. Silia says government remains committed to working with all stakeholders and development partners in achieving the objective of turning agriculture into a sector for job and wealth creation. She says this is why government will, among other things, review the existing policy and regulatory framework for the agriculture sector.
2. Increase coordination among the various programs in the ministry and cooperating partners. 3. Undertake a specific review of the Farmer Input Support Program as well as the mandate and operations of the Food Reserve Agency. 4. Work closely with the Ministries of Lands, Commerce, Trade and Industry as well as the Ministry of Finance, the upcoming Ministry of Water and the Ministry of Energy to accelerate investment, especially private sector investment in the agricultural sector. And this will be done through the following. A. Setting up the Farmer Mechanization Support Facility, whose aim is to increase productivity and production. B. Set up 20 water irrigation schemes, including bulk water distribution facilities, such as dams and other water infrastructure. This will enable farmers to produce even in the off-season and avoid low production in times of drought. C. Expand extension services through the use of ICT with an emphasis on promoting climate-smart agriculture. This will entail working closely with mobile providers to achieve 100% communication coverage. In this regard, we aim to complete the migration of the e-voucher system during the 2017-2018 farming season. Government also intends to lay optic fiber infrastructure along the Tazara corridor as to improve the efficiency in communication and the movement of goods. D. This government has made a decision to prioritize agriculture. As such, infrastructure in energy, in transport, in water and others will be geared towards the growth of the agriculture sector. In this vein, government has...
We'll take a minute or so to break, after which when I come back, the Media Institute of Southern Africa, Zambia, is saddened by the continued threats of the media freedom of expression and the press freedom. We'll be coming back after this break.
Hey, brother, there's an endless road to rediscover. Oh, the sky comes falling down. There's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. What if I'm far from home?
Hatch your eggs with Pledge incubators. We stock full automatic incubators with high hatching rate above 90%. Our incubators are of different sizes and hatching capacity at unbelievable prices. For details, call the distributor on 0966 806628 or 0950 610285. Pledge incubators. Hatch your way.
The difference between the rich and the poor lies not in time. For most people think that if they have more of it, they could make it. It is definitely not opportunity, because truth be told, there is equal opportunities wherever you may go. And it's not environment, because when it comes to environment, wherever you go, somebody's making it. The 7 Principles for Financial Prosperity and Prosperity Insights has a simple but profound mission. We want to transform the poverty mindset. Those who make it in life are born into the right circumstances. If not, they go and seek those circumstances. And if they can't find them, they create them. This book is going to help you change your mindset about wealth. It will plant the seeds necessary to begin the transformative process to wealth and prosperity. Pre-order your copy of the 7 Principles for Financial Prosperity on the link shown here today and access the special offers now. You can also follow the link and register to attend the 2 book launches coming in Lusaka. The corporate book launch will take place on Thursday, 13th October at 18 hours at the Protea Arcades for only 500 kwacha per person, or alternatively attend the church launch on Friday, 14th October, 18 hours at the Bread of Life Church Blessing Center for only 100 kwacha ordinary or 250 kwacha VIP inclusive of the book. Register now and take advantage of our preposterous offers within. Visit www.7principlesforfinancialprosperity.com now.
The Media Institute of Southern Africa, MISA Zambia, is saddened by the continued threats to the freedom of expression and of the press by state institutions, which are expected to act independently and in the public's interest. This follows the latest development in which Prime TV proprietor Gerald Shawa and the station's head of news, Maku Kwakozi, were warned and cautioned by police. In a statement, MISA Zambia chairperson Ellen Mwale has described the offences as vexatious, aimed at intimidating the duo. Ms. Mwale says it is worrying that there is a clampdown on media freedoms and freedom of expression, given the recent chain of events involving Kombani Radio, Movie TV and Radio Iteji in what amounts to be facto censorship of the press. She says MISA Zambia believes media practitioners must be held accountable for their actions, if in conflict with the law, but this must be done in a fair manner without any political interference and threat to the freedom of expression as has been observed over the past few months. Ms. Mwale states that the police must not allow themselves to be used to settle petty political differences through arbitrary and unsubstantiated application of the law, which already bears many unreasonable restrictions on the enjoyment of fundamental freedoms in Zambia. She says MISA calls on all well-meaning Zambians to rise to the occasion and condemn the deteriorating human rights situation in the country, as it is every citizen's duty to defend, uphold, and protect the Constitution of Zambia as provided for in Article 2 of the same Constitution. Ms. Mwale adds that MISA Zambia will be on hand to offer legal support to the affected Prime TV duo if arrested, to ensure justice is served, while the institution has also issued an alert to embassies, international partners, and human rights agencies over the deteriorating situation in Zambia and increasing threats to democratic governance. Health Minister Dr. Chitalo Chilufya says his ministry has not received any report of children dying shortly after being vaccinated with the rubella vaccine last month. Dr. Chilufya, however, points out that vaccines have minor side effects and adverse reactions. He stresses that the side effects that come with vaccines do not outweigh the benefits, stating that without vaccines, the country would be condemning children to death through vaccines' preventable illnesses. Dr. Chilufya notes that the enhancement of child survival, there is need to protect children from vaccine prevention illness through immunization. He says the Patriotic Front government will invest heavily in immunization, as immunization programs have been impactful on the health of the children and the country. Dr. Chilufya adds that immunization is also a sustainable way of national building, and thus no one should be discouraged to take their children for immunization.
And so we do not want to discourage anybody from getting vaccinated. A long time ago, we used to have a huge ward at UTH admitting children with measles, and the death rate was very high. But with the expanded program in immunization taking root, with coverages rising, that ward was closed. So immunization programs have been very impactful on the health of our children in this country. So the PF government under His Excellency Mr. Edgar Chagulungu will invest heavily in immunization.
The International Labour Organization ILO says Zambia should create decent jobs for its people if the country is to achieve Sustainable Development Goals number 8 and 9. Speaking during a UN media breakfast on the SDGs in Lusaka today, ILO Director Alexio Musindo explains that having decent jobs entails people having jobs that they can freely choose, are well-paying and secure. Mr. Musindo says this also entails there should be no forced labor and child labor, but where all can benefit from the growing economy. He notes that to achieve SDG number 9, there is need for people to be innovative and for the government to promote manufacturing in the country.
Work where all can benefit from the growing economy. Once we have such type of work, we are then moving much stronger towards inclusive and sustained economic growth. Do we need that in the Zambian context? I think the direct answer is yes. Already a target has been set of 1 million jobs to be created. What can we do for those 1 million jobs to be created? That links very closely with SDG number 9, which is on infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustained industrial development.
And UNDP Country Director Martin Meyer says it is encouraging to note that countries, Zambia inclusive, are already making efforts towards the attainment of the SDGs, though a lot needs to be done to attain them.
He talks about ensuring access to affordable, reliable, and modern energy for all. I think it's a topic that resonates with many of us here in Zambia. The electrification rates in Zambia are low. In the city, overall it's about 27%, but when you go into the rural areas, only 3% of the population has access to electricity. So a long way to go, a long way to go. Worldwide, 1 in 5 people still lacks access to modern electricity. 3 billion people rely on wood, coal, charcoal, or animal waste for cooking and heating. And we all know that energy is the dominant contributor to climate change, accounting for about 60% of total greenhouse gas emissions.
Earlier, Chief Kaputa of the Tawa people in Kaputa district said for the SDGs to be attained, they should be implemented in line with the country's development priorities. He says there is need, therefore, to quickly finalize the 7th National Development Plan.
The 23rd agenda focuses on 3 interconnected elements of sustainable development, that is economic growth, social inclusion, and environmental protection. For the SDGs to be attained, we need to ensure that they are implemented in line with the development priorities for Zambia. Therefore, there is need to quickly finalize the 7th National Development Plan.
Now, the livelihood of people is highly dependent on sanitation and water, and government has been urged to give priority attention to water and sanitation issues and provide the people with access to good water, drinking water, and tackle sanitation problems in the country. Details to that after this.
Hummingbird, nature's gift, a quality product from Californian Beverages.
Government has been urged to give priority attention to water and sanitation issues and provide the people with access to good drinking water and tackle sanitation problems in the country. Water Aid Head of Southern Region Robert Kampara says there is need for government to provide access to water, sanitation and hygiene to everyone by 2030. Mr. Kampara says water, sanitation and hygiene are fundamental to development, and by delivering these essential services, the lives of hundreds of millions will be transformed. Speaking during the commemoration of the Hand Washing Day Symposium in Lusaka this morning, Mr. Kampara says this is possible if government shows commitment towards innovative thinking and funding to improve these essentials of healthy living.
Our call to the government is to take or make urgent actions. We have three main calls that we are actually making. One is, we would like you to commit that by 2030, every healthcare facility will have a reliable and sufficient supply of clean running water, safe toilets for patients and staff, functional sinks, soap, and also sufficient supplies of cleaning materials to maintain a hygienic and sterile environment. Our second call to you is that we would like you to ensure that no healthcare facility are built without adequate sustainable water and sanitation services. Again, let me emphasize here, whilst the situation is challenging in many of our countries, but what we see is that new facilities are actually being constructed without these basic services. Whilst we have a backlog, we have a huge number of the existing facilities that do not actually have these basic services. So what we are calling you is, for any new healthcare facilities, can we ensure that these new facilities are actually equipped and provided with the necessary water and sanitation services. We are also calling you to ensure that all healthcare workers are given professional training and support to practice and promote good hygiene.
And speaking at the same event, Zambia Medical Association President Dr. Aaron Mujajati called on government to ensure that all healthcare facilities are built with adequate sustainable water and sanitation services. Dr. Mujajati says government should also ensure that all healthcare workers are given professional training and support to practice and promote good hygiene.
One of the things that we would like to state here is that when it comes to water and sanitation, as Minister of Health and as doctors and nurses and health workers, we cannot do much directly when it comes to the issue of providing water and sanitation. That's not our issue. But the problem is that when that system fails, we are the ones who receive the consequences. When the facilities or institutions or authorities that are responsible for providing water and sanitation fail, we are the ones who receive the consequences. It therefore means that it increases your cost of providing services. But should these facilities do the right things and get us water and sanitation properly, it will mean that you, as Minister of Health, can spend those resources in other areas. Therefore, Honorable Minister, it brings us to the issue of social determinants of health. Water and sanitation is a very key issue when it comes to social determinants of health. This also is the same issue to do with employment, education, and things of that nature. As health workers, we know the impact that poor education has on health outcomes. We also know the impact that unemployment has on health outcomes. But particularly relevant to this meeting, we know that water and sanitation has a huge impact on health outcomes. In fact, water and sanitation has a very dramatic impact on health outcomes. But the other thing.
And officiating at the event, Health Minister Dr. Chitalo Chilufya says government underscores the importance of hand washing through the revamping of primary health care services to tackle preventable diseases like diarrhea that are mostly transmitted through contaminated hands. In a speech read on his behalf by Ministry of Health spokesperson Dr. Kamoto Mbewe, Dr. Chitalo Chilufya says the decentralization of primary health care services to the local authorities will ensure strengthened public health awareness on hand washing and hygiene and prevention of diarrhea diseases.
Globally, with Africa and Asia accounting for over half the cases of childhood diarrhea. Additionally, diarrheal disease is the major killer, with 2 children under the age of 5 dying every minute annually in developing countries. The global gap for access to improved sanitation is still high, with 2.5 billion people of the world population having no access to improved sanitation facilities, while over 2 billion still practicing open defecation, especially in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. In Zambia, diarrhea remains among the top 5 causes of illness in the under 5 age group. Ladies and gentlemen, Global Hand Washing Day is celebrated annually on the 15th October to design, test, replicate creative ways to encourage people to wash their hands with soap at critical times. It is also designed to foster and support a global and local culture of hand washing with soap, shine a spotlight on the state of hand washing around the world, and raise awareness about the benefits of hand washing with soap. The first Global Hand Washing Day was held in 2008, when over 120 million children around the world washed their hands with soap in more than 70 countries. Since 2008, community and national leaders have used Global Hand Washing Day to spread the word about hand washing, building of sinks and tippy taps, and demonstrating the simplicity and value of clean hands.
Politicians have been called upon to use this year's Independence Day celebrations to reunite the people of Zambia. The call has been made by some Lusaka residents who feel political party leaders, more especially those that took part in the August 11 elections, have a duty to reunite the country. Albert Mpezeni has the details in the following report.
24th October will always remain an important day for Zambians, as this is the day the country decided to shape its own destiny by breaking the shackles of colonialism. Independence Days have always been used to remember to appreciate freedom fighters for their struggle which enabled the country attain independence 52 years ago. However, some stakeholders feel that the August 11th general elections have to some extent brought about divisions in the country. It is against this background that some Lusaka residents are calling on politicians to use this year's Independence Day celebrations to reunite the people of Zambia. This reporter took time to talk to some Lusaka residents on the forthcoming Independence Day celebrations, who echoed similar sentiments on the need for unity and peace as the nation commemorates this important day.
Yes, in Zambia we have to live one in peace and in harmony, just like our freedom fighters fought for us during independence struggle. They fought for every one of us, not just for Bembas, for Lozis, for Tongas, but for everyone. We are one. So we have to live in one peace and harmony.
So if we find out that there's a problem, we just have to sit down with with those that maybe the leaders from both tribes, say the chiefs from the eastern and then the Bemba side. and then we settle that difference, and then we start now observing how these tribes can mingle or can do things together. Yeah, like at the moment I am working under Nande Ventures in Mazabuga, Zambia. Yes. There we are interacting with Tongas, Bembas, as well as the Moses.
Kuikatana feso, kuikatana pamu, kuikala pamu. Ngefine uteko utwasendo wakwa lungu, tuira umana. Fide twali muri kaunda, twale umfana fye bwino muri kaunda. Muri bakaunda batata, twale umfana bwino. Nakupanga ndanga mwaikala fye no mwana na bafyashi. Umwana afwira ale umfiro mufyashi. Umufyashi na afwira ale chindiko umwana kuti umwana akule bwino. No mwana na yachindike abafyashi kuti naye akule bwino ichalo chie pantanji.
I think itifunika tabula pamoja chabe. We unite, we avoid tribalism. Noti abantu batonga, abantu batumbuka, cyane ifunika tabula pamoja chabe monga muntu mozi.
But ama parents beso aba bunu mokoro Zambia kugera ubuntu bali abayikata takwali ku division kwe bati ababatonga ababalozi abababemba bakalwale bali united, so na ife tulingira okonga ila ine spirit ya kwe bati ila ine united yaliko unity ile yaliko ifire yapitilira division some country ya it's called one Zambia, one nation. So to be
kwikatana yeku bantu lokupa kwamba abantu aba bakale bali katishana kwetu akisange icharo after kusharwa bakisange icharo ndemu twalisanga kale filafino kuba yekala bafyashi afuna kufiri kwa kwikatishana bantu abafyashi ngidi ne wala tuwe bati ifyonse firi tikana matezi kwali intermarriage trefa wa uko mtonga wa uko mubemba, that's intermarriage. Not to kuchina intermarriage ya ekwikatana uko kwini nomanga mwakula tina ti o mtonga uyumwina mwanga tekingupe, that's not it. Ulikaunda twale uko intermarriage.
The thing that we have to do, like independence as is running on the corner, we only think like we have to pray to God. We may still continue to unite one another. Still like I know we have some other people say no, we've lost directions, and then after that, others were like, okay, this time it's coming for independence. Let's say like it's peace.
The Southern Center for Construction and Resolution of Disputes, SACOD, feels that politicians are duty-bound to see to it that they help in restoring peace in the country, as they are party to blame for the prevailing situation in the country. SACOD Executive Director Boniface Chembe says politicians must not miss this golden opportunity by showing the people that they mean well for the nation by reuniting as their supporters follow suit.
Clearly, one of the biggest issues surrounding our political environment is that of reconciliation, forgiveness, as well as healing. It is expected that as we draw closer to Independence Day, that our political leadership will be able to exhibit these very important aspects of peace building, if you will, so that as a leadership, they are able to tell the people that even if there are differences in the political arena, when the time comes, forgiveness and reconciliation has to be undertaken. But more fundamentally, from a SACOD point of view, we believe that reconciliation, forgiveness and healing can be much more fundamental, or can be undertaken if we start a process of reforming laws that are oppressive to the citizens of the Republic of Zambia, colonial pieces of legislation. And time and again, we have recommended that the Public Order Act, which has been a source of conflict, needs to be amended. And the time has come that as we start celebrating independence, we need to put in place a schedule of all colonial pieces of legislation that are oppressive to the citizens of the Republic of Zambia.
As the nation prepares to commemorate 52 years of independence, it is important for the people of Zambia to look where they're coming from and remember that the relative peace the nation has enjoyed for 5 decades was not obtained freely, but blood was spilled. It is therefore important that the nation realizes the need to move forward in unity, in line with the national motto of One Zambia, One Nation. Reporting for QTV News, I'm Albert Mpezeni in Lusaka.
Government Chief Whip Richard Musukwa has urged opposition members of parliament to work with the ruling party in delivering development to the people of Zambia. We'll take a final break. When we get back, the rest of the news.
Hummingbird, nature's gift, a quality product from Californian beverages.
No, I can't stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me
Hello, you're watching Cube Business. This time around, we are at Okadeco Office Furniture Store, Oka Trends. Here, you can get the very best of office furniture at very affordable prices. Now, these tables are executive, and I know that's definitely what's best for your office. Now, if you're looking to get yourself into the executive mood anywhere in your house, and I mean anywhere, Okadeco is definitely the place to be for you. You can get to Okadeco and get the very best of climbing material. If you're looking to get yourself a pedestal pan or maybe a tumbler holder, a paper holder, this is definitely the place to be. After a busy day at work, now the best thing that you can get home to is a luxurious bed. And this you can get at Okadeco. You can get all this at very affordable prices and you will definitely enjoy your rest and be ready for the next day. Ladies love matching things, from matching clothes to matching curtains, but at Okadeco you can get matching curtains regardless of what color your home is, because there's a wide variety of curtains regardless of what color your home is. You can get any type of curtain at Okadeco. Okadeco, along Kafu. Government Chief Whip Richard Musukwa has urged opposition members of parliament to work with the ruling party in delivering development to the people of Zambia. Mr. Musukwa is advising opposition lawmakers to take advantage of the policy direction President Ted Kalungu has given for the Patriotic Front government. In an interview with QTV News, Mr. Musukwa notes that President Lungu has made it clear that the Patriotic Front government will use agriculture as the cornerstone for economic emancipation for the country. Mr. Musukwa says this is where he thinks all members of parliament should channel their energies in line with the country's diversification agenda. Government activist Leslie Chukuse says he is saddened by what he has termed as harassment by the police of the United Party for National Development UPND leadership. Mr. Chikuse says UPND President Hakainde Hichilema and his vice Jeffrey Mwamba should be allowed to enjoy their rights like any other citizen. He says it is sad that the opposition leaders cannot move freely without being harassed. Mr. Chikuse has stressed their need for the country to have a strong opposition political party like the UPND. He adds that in the spirit of reconciliation, the country should move on. Central Province Minister Sidney Mushanga has appealed to Kawe residents not to panic following the outbreak of cholera, as government is doing everything possible to contain the disease. Mr. Mushanga says the provincial medical officer so far attended to all the identified cases at Kawe Central Hospital. He adds that everything is being done to ensure that cholera does not spread to other parts of the country or the province. Mr. Mushanga further states that the government will in future put in measures and facilities such as water infrastructure and ablution blocks in Lukanga swamps to avert the outbreak of cholera.
And the provincial medical office, they've been responding to that, and all the identified cases have been attended to. So I think as a province, through provincial medical office, we are moving towards the right direction. So all the cases, the identified cases, were attended to at Kawe General Hospital. From Kawe General Hospital, the cases were pushed to a center in Makuru, and they've since been attended to by provincial medical office.
Government has held progress that has been made on the construction of a resource center in Livingston, a legacy project for Zambia's co-hosting of the UNWT or General Assembly. Tourism and Arts Minister Charles Banda has disclosed that a piece of land has already been secured where the resource center will be constructed. Mr. Banda told Parliament in a ministerial statement today that the land, which is located in Dambwa North, has been made available on zero rate by the Livingstone City Council. He says this is because the center, which is meant to provide knowledge and skills to local people, is a community project. Mr. Banda has told the House that the land upon which the resource center will be constructed has since been cleared and fenced with billboards erected to prohibit encroachment.
B. Clearing of land and erection of billboards. The site has been cleared and fenced with 3 billboards to deter would-be encroachers on the land. The community was engaged to clear the site as a way of creating a sense of ownership, and that they begin to appreciate and benefit from the project. Number C, architectural drawings and bill of quantities. The ministry has engaged the Directorate of Engineering at Livingstone City Council to prepare the architectural drawings and the bill of quantities. D, hire of contractors. This will be done through selective tender once the architectural design and bill of quantities are done. The Provincial Administration Procurement Office will spearhead the process. A no objection for selective tender has been obtained from ZPPA. E. Management of the project. A management committee has been set up to spearhead the implementation of the project. The composition of the committee includes institutions that are involved in tourism-related activities. F. Sensitization activities. The ministry, working together with the Livingstone City Council, has commenced with community awareness activities in the surrounding communities first. Several community meetings have been held to ensure that the residents appreciate the expected benefits of the project and thereby instill a sense of ownership in them. Mr. Speaker, the response from the community is encouraging, and they have since accepted the project and agreed to second 2 community representatives to represent them.
The Lusaka Water and Sewerage Company has disclosed plans to drill boreholes in Chongwe as long-term measures to the problem of water in the district, especially during the hot season. Company Public Relations Officer Nshamba Muzungu says the drying up of Chongwe River every year during the dry season makes it difficult for the company to supply water to the district. Mr. Muzungu says the water utility has identified borehole drilling as one of the solutions that even in the dry season water will still be available in the district. It states that ever since the Chongwe River dried up, the company is in partnership with the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, has been supplying water to Chongwe using water bowsers.
We've been experiencing, low water levels in the Chongwe River. As you know, every year we have this challenge of water drying up in Chongwe River, and that time of the year has arrived. So what we've been doing, over the past weeks is that we've been, transporting water using the bowser to Chongwe, and we have since shut down our water treatment plant there. But also we have received some help, from the Disaster Management Unit, and they've helped us with some bowsers which we are using to transport water to Chongwe in order for us to be able to meet the demand in that area. But as a long-term solution to the situation in Chongwe, we have actually started constructing or drilling boreholes which will supply water to Chongwe. This obviously will also involve the construction of a booster station and a 27-kilometer transmission line from Chalimbana into Chongwe. So we should be able to complete this project once all logistics are in place, and we are confident that this water situation in Chongwe will soon be a thing of the past.
Chipata Deputy Council Chairperson Grace Spiri has bemoaned the water problem in the district. Ms. Spiri says for a long time Chipata has been facing water challenges which have largely affected the farmers. She says it is for this reason that the Municipal Council wants to deal with the water and sanitation problem as the first priority. And Ms. Spiri says there is needs to improve access to healthcare services in Chipata district. She states that women are forced to walk long distances to access healthcare services, which she says is not ideal, especially for pregnant women and children. Ms. Spiri has since assured the people of Chipata that the council will work hard to address most of the challenges they're facing.
What we want is just to improve, mostly in sanitation. Is Chipata as a whole, and we have problems in water, and more especially in the dams. We don't have where animals to feed. As you know, Chipata is a rural place and it has a lot of animals. So we have most challenges in where to get water to feed, for animals to drink, and for people to use water. We have a lot of problems. As you know, the drought has been so consistent, and that's why as a female deputy mayor, we would like to look mostly, the first thing we could do is just to improve on water and sanitation.
The Energy Regulation Board, ARB, has increased fuel pump prices, with the new price for a litre of petrol being 13 kwacha 7 ingwe and 11 kwacha 14 ingwe for diesel. Vice President Nongawina has apologized to Company Radio Director Lesa Nyirenda for the brutality she suffered at the hands of the police. Those are the stories making headlines in local news. International news: Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari's wife has warned him that she may not back him in the next election unless he shakes up his government. In a BBC interview, Aisha Buhari said the president does not know most of the top officials he has appointed. She suggested the government had been hijacked, saying a few people were behind presidential appointments. Mrs. Buhari said people who did not share the vision of the ruling All Progressive Congress were now appointed to top posts because of the influence a few people wield. Mr. Buhari was elected last year with a promise to tackle corruption and nepotism in government. His wife's decision to go public with her concerns will shock many people, but it reflects the level of discontent with the president's leadership. The total cost of pulling Galaxy Note 7 smartphones off the market will be at least $5.4 billion, Samsung said. The South Korean tech giant had already lowered its third quarter profit guidance by $2.3 billion. Today, it said it expected an additional hit of about $3 billion. The Note 7 was recalled last month after battery fires, but when replacement phones experienced the same problem, Samsung scrapped the device. The premium phone, launched in August, was meant to compete with Apple's new iPhone 7 at the top of the smartphone market. Despite the setback, Samsung Electronics still expects to make £3.7 billion in operating profit during the third quarter after the recall cost. That's the end of the news. I'll be back with more news at 22 hours. Visit our website if you please to get more news now, qfmzambia.com. Good night.